Our first article we found is called Autonomous Electric Vehicles Can Reduce Carbon Emissions and Air Pollution in Cities. This article taught us a lot about how to reduce air pollution, and the overall conclusion is that electric vehicles and ride-sharing options can help drop the air pollution. So we found a couple facts that support that conclusion. And the first one is that the results show that the adoption of autonomous electric vehicles can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 34% of the total emissions from transportation by 2050. The Tesla sign here shows an example of an electric vehicle. Next, we found a fact that says U.S. road transportation is the largest contributor to the number of premature deaths due to air emissions, with 58,000 premature deaths caused every year. The image here shows a road with a school to show that there are a lot of deaths due to air pollution each year. The next fact we found is that as a result of the heavy dependence on private vehicles in the United States transportation sector accounts for 29% of the total annual greenhouse gas emissions. We drew a house with a car here because it shows that most everyone has their own car, which adds to an increase in the air pollution, whereas if we were to just carpool more or take Ubers, Lyft, public transportation, it would help a lot with decreasing the air pollution. The last fact we found was the number of vehicles on today's roads continues to increase as the population increases. This means that today's society and infrastructure cannot supply the demands of the transportation sector indefinitely, meaning at some point we're going to run into a dead end. Overall, again, this just shows us that using electric vehicles and ride-sharing options like Uber, Lyft, or public transportation can help drop the air pollution, which would help the environment massively. Our second article is called Recycling, Processes, Costs, and Benefits. And the section that we focused on was called Costs and Cost Effectiveness of Recycling of Municipal Solid Waste. So our first point of our campaign as to why we haven't reduced our waste is because it is a huge challenge to reduce the increasing flow of waste. Many management systems of solid waste are based on the waste generation hierarchy, which is a hierarchy of priorities for solving waste generation problems of waste minimization, recycling/reuse, and treatment and disposal. The treatment and disposal of solid waste involves a range of processes including landfill, incineration, composting, all of which may result in emissions to the environment. So right now what we're doing is adding to air pollution in the environment. So right now, developing countries are spending 20 to 40% of their municipal revenues employing 3 to 6 workers per 1,000 members of the population on solid waste management. Trends in waste generation show an increase in the volumes of waste produced for most countries, and it's clear that the trend will continue. So we're spending so much money on waste management, which adds to our air pollution, instead of spending extra money on finding ways to overall reduce all types of pollution and recycling. The main compositional categories of municipal solid waste are paper and cardboard, organic waste, which is like food and garden waste, plastics, metal, glass, textiles, wood, and other minor fractions of waste. All of these, at least half, can be recycled or reused, which could significantly reduce waste. So overall, what we're doing right now isn't really working because we're spending a lot of money to employ people to work for waste management, which overall adds to air pollution. So why aren't we fixing this? And our campaign uses this article to show why what we're doing right now isn't working. Our schedule for the final project is to first meet up as a group to get everything started. And we're gonna put Jordan and Jaden on the task of writing about the air pollution article and discussing the problem and the solution. And then Oscar and Romel are gonna write about the recycling article, and they're gonna work on the problem and solution for that. And then Michael-Leah is gonna write the introduction and conclusion, and also the team communication paragraph. And then we're gonna meet up again and combine the essays. So once we find and read the two articles and we get those completed, we're gonna meet up and combine everything that everyone's written. And then also in that second meeting, we're gonna discuss the video and come up with a script for it. And lastly, we're gonna meet a third time, and hopefully a last time, to create the video together. And then each of us are just gonna write about how we work together and turn it